Our story started in August 2011 when my late husband, Rob, died in a plane crash near the Emerald Airport. I had just started working at the Rainbow FM radio station, doing hour-long Bible talks and 3-hour country music presentations.
I was also working at Warwick Rainbow FM, but I was broadcasting from home. My wife Shirley at the time was sick from cancer, and I could take care of her and still manage the radio show. I lost my wife in August in 2013, still maintaining the radio show from my home.
When I heard of a man named Lloyd had lost his wife, my heart went out to him. Those in the station did not know whether to send a card or not. And even though I did not know him, I told them yes, send one. He would be really grieving at this time, as I had lost my spouse and knew what it felt like.
And I continued with my radio broadcasts even in my grief. The studio at home was cathartic to me. I had not met Lynn yet, but I was listening to her on the radio occasionally.
God had plans. I saw him in the shopping center, and God told me to go comfort him. I made an argument with God. He will think I'm trying to pick him up. So I ignored God and got my own. Then I sat down and I saw him struggling to figure out what to choose. God said to me, help him. When I didn't, he said, that is two. But I ignored it. Then he sat 2 tables away from me at the food court. God said to me, talk to him. I kept saying, I do not want to. And God said, how many times do I have to tell you? Troubled, I got up with my tray and I stood above him. I said, hello, I'm Lynn.
I stood there stunned, wondering why she was talking to me. God told me at the moment that this person was to be my next wife. I asked her why she was there.
I was also stunned. God sent me.
I told her to sit down and we talked together for over 2 hours.
A week or so went by, both of us doing our radio presenting Christian music and hymns. By December 2013, the Christmas party was scheduled for the radio station. My female friend was in the car driving and I saw Lloyd, so we stopped and rolled down the window. I asked him if he was going to the party, and he said no.
I did not feel like partying after the death of my late wife, but then something changed in my heart and I said yes.
We eventually went to the party, which neither of us enjoyed, but we enjoyed each other's company.
I was listening to Lynn's Bible talk and the story of Boaz and Ruth.
I was explaining that Boaz did not love Ruth just because she was beautiful, but because Boaz was a man of God who took his responsibilities seriously. He wanted to care for her and do the right thing by her.
Impulsively, I texted her and said I wanted to be her Boaz.
I was elated, but afraid just the same. People kept telling us that it was too soon to get married after the death of our spouses. So we decided to go look at the graves, as our spouses were in the same cemetery.
On the way to the cemetery, I was concerned about where I was to be buried. Late wife Shirley was supposed to be below me, and now I was marrying again. How was that going to work?
He was noticeably quiet until I got out of him what the problem was. I just said, do not worry, I will just be buried next to Rob. We get to the cemetery and Lloyd went to the right. I go to the left. Eventually I find Rob's grave, and going down the hill and back I find Shirley's. She is diagonal to Rob. The graves are touching. We hugged, we laughed, and cried with happiness. as we knew that God had planned it all.
What is a greater miracle is that I stood on the grave of her husband Rob while I buried Shirley.
This is our grave story.